All right, hey guys, I'm back with my friend Anson, a friend of mine from back in college. He has this MR2 here. He's done some work to it. Never driven an MR2, but he offered it right away, which is very generous. So definitely can't wait to see how it performs.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So let's see.
Let's go.
Very cool. All right. Starts right up. That Toyota reliability is nice.
It is. It's a similar engine from out of the Corolla. Things will go forever.
Yeah. 125,000 on it. Any major repairs or maintenance?
Really just changed the fluids, that kind of thing. It's been keeping going. Some minor modifications here and there, but yeah, pretty much standard as it's you know, came originally. Actually, I have the hardtop for it. We don't have it on here, but there's the European market hardtop you can get. Yeah. And this one actually has the 6-speed manual out of the European market cars. So stock came with the 5-speed manual. This one's a 6 with the limited slip diff, so helps it drive a little bit nicer, I think.
Definitely nice to have the limited slip diff. Not to compare this to the Miata like most roadsters are compared, but this it definitely, it's a nice small car. Having that limited slip diff is good for handling, preventing oversteer, and all around fun.
You can go right, left, up to you.
Try right for now. That clutch is soft but communicative. I like it. It's real nice. Second gear pull. Yeah. Yeah. Windows up real quick.
Yeah. A little quieter here.
Yeah. Wow. Even with the wind deflector and the windows, it's really nice.
Yeah.
That's quieter than the S2K.
With the windows up, I can take it on the highway, no problem.
Wow. It goes right over your head too. S2000, this roof line is about to my eyebrows, give or take.
Oh yeah?
This is dead quiet. I'm not even that tall. We're about the same height, but yeah, this definitely is more roomy and still feels just as compact and tossable.
I mean, you have no cargo space at all here. I think it's one of the least practical cars by any means, but that's not the point. I mean, it's a fun car. I love it.
But you're dailying this thing now, right?
Yeah, this is my daily. I had a nice practical Econo box, but I said, what the heck? And yeah, daily, every single day. Highway too.
Wow. How far is your commute?
Oh God, hour and a half, straight up down I-95. So it takes the miles, but it takes it pretty well.
Yeah, man, the steering feels great. I love how thin the wheel is on the edges. Really like the wheel.
You think it's easy to control?
Absolutely. Just put your thumbs in right there. I really like the wheel and the steering. The clutch is light. It made me think the steering would be light. The steering is actually...
It works real well for the 9 and 3 positions, and the steering's fairly responsive, I think.
I'd say so, yeah.
How do you think the steering rate compares to the S2K?
Good question. I would say to the AP2 it's maybe a little bit tighter. Not quite as tight as the AP1. The AP1 steering is pretty good. Pretty tight.
There's it around the turn.
Yeah. Go back to first. Doesn't rev quite as high, but...
Not quite. Hard to do that, though.
Yeah. My bad.
You're good.
But,
and you can give it a little power through the turns, too. It'll take it. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Florida, not quite as many turns as Maryland. Anson's actually from Maryland originally, like me.
Yeah, originally, actually. Kind of up between Maryland and Pennsylvania. Spent some time there, so...
Nice area.
Much nicer roads to drive, that's for sure.
Yeah. But I gotta say, this, like you're saying, the steering, the ratio is quick. I'd say it is quicker than the AP2 for sure, which I like a lot, because basically as you're turning the wheel, it's basically the exact same degree the tires are turning, which I like. No numbness, no vagueness. It's really a nice steering. The thinner wheel really makes me feel like I can grip it and hold 9 and 3 and just hold the moderate turns of Florida.
Oh, for sure. Really stable up on the highway too. Not really built for highway driving, but it takes it like a champ. The thing is, a Toyota at heart after all. So. Yeah.
I'm liking the 6-speed. How do the gear ratios compare to the 5-speed?
Yeah, it's a good question. The 5-speed, basically, they're a lot shorter gearing. It's a faster transmission. If that is what you want, you're going to want to stick with the 5. The 6-speed, a little bit nicer for highway driving. You get a longer 6th and a little bit longer 4th. But I do daily the thing, like I mentioned. But that combined with the limited slip diff, I mean, it's much nicer around the corners right now. I wouldn't go back to the 5. if you wanted the ultimate track MR2, you can use the Lotus Elise transmission.
Oh yeah?
It's a 6-speed but close gear ratio. So if you want to set one up, that's the way to go.
That is one thing. They didn't put the 2ZZ engine from the Lotus. They did have the supercharger on it too for more power, but I guess they really didn't want to compete. This engine feels fine, but I think with the taller gears, you might be putting that 2ZZ in the future, huh?
Yeah, exactly. This transmission with more power of the 2ZZ engine is the way to go. The 2ZZ basically is Toyota's attempt at their own version of VTEC. You get your variable valve timing and lift, and a bit more power too. So, in the future.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I mean, again, a front engine Corolla's, you know, that engine, I would think it would go in a sedan, but it actually seems quite fine in the back. Just
When you think about it, it's basically a mid-engine Corolla. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive Corolla. They just flipped it.
I wonder if the Corolla has steering like this. That's amazing.
That it doesn't. And this has nicer struts too. These are KYB stock. Got a little wear on them, but yeah, you can't get a Corolla to handle like this.
Ah, man. So I finally figured out what the MR and MR2 stands for. Midship runabout. Never knew that. And the front has something as well?
Yeah. It, tiny little front, but if you never knew, you'll find out.
Got to open the front from the glove box. That's awesome.
Yeah, just like your normal engine, no except no engine. Hold up.
I feel like nowadays someone might think it's electric if they didn't know any better, seeing the plastic up front.
Exactly. People often do, actually. And here's your massive trunk, cavernous.
Cavernous.
There's your spare tire. It's about half the amount of space.
Yeah.
But you know, it's about the driving experience. You know, I have a luggage rack if I really want to go on a trip, so it doesn't bother me at all.
For the rear?
Yeah, actually, it goes right over the back. It's not installed right now, but there's like a rear luggage rack I can put over the deck, aftermarket thing. Strap my luggage down, works pretty well.
Let's see the engine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sports cars, they look good in black, which is nice.
So you just pull the icon with the trunk release, except it's not exactly.
Yeah, that looks like the Corolla engine. That's pretty cool.
Just about. Pretty much stock under here. It's got the 6-speed transmission down there, and the different intake running all the way down there. So.
Oh, the AEM, that's sweet.
AEM intake, yeah, helps it sound a little bit throatier, I think. I like it.
And then it goes all the way down.
Oh
right
yeah,
to the...
way down inside the bumper, actually.
Oh, I do see. It might be so hard to see it on the camera, but I do see some places where some nice cold air can come in. That's great. Wow. It's amazing.
Those pre-cats we were talking about,
yeah,
they're going to be directly under those heat shields. They'll be right about here where my hands are. So you can see how close that is to the engine. That's what you want to take care of. One of the ways you can check if you're in the market, whether they have the pre-cats or not, if you see there where the oxygen sensor is, if you unbolt that, you can shine a light to look at whether they're in place. It's not going to tell you the condition of them, but if they say that they've gutted it, it's going to tell you whether they're actually there or not. So, little tip.
It'll also see, when you ask that, you'll see if the seller knows what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what comes next, buddy? It looks like maybe an aftermarket header, because cleaning out those cats might be better, but it might not quite be good for performance.
Yeah. So these ones are already gutted, but the stock cats are stock header rather, not the best. What I want to do, a full exhaust replacement. Take this off here, put a high flow headers, high flow cat, and probably a different muffler. Basically under this whole bumper section here is the muffler. It's not bad, but make it sound a little throatier, I think. But in general, yeah, fairly short exhaust. Not too much you can do with that in terms of power, but high flow headers, high flow cats, pretty much the best thing you can do for that.
Great, man. Let's go check out the hardtop.
For sure.
So we went back and put the hardtop on. Really looks clean. The two raised portions looks like some of the S2000 hardtops, but and the rear glass too. Obviously it wouldn't be compatible, but that does make it look really clean. Are the hardtops expensive?
Yeah, they never sold these in the US.
Wow.
Basically everywhere but North America, so you gotta either find one that somebody already imported, or get one yourself, you got to import it from overseas. There's a few people who can bring it in for you, usually from the UK. We're talking a few thousand, but you never know. You can get lucky. I think it really makes the look of the car, really helps the lines on it.
All right, let's see. Yeah. That limited slip, I feel it. Windows. Damn it. Let's give it a little bit more rip here. Yeah, the handling is great. Definitely feel the limited slip when you're powering through the turns. Way more capable than I thought. Wow. I don't know why people sleep on these cars, man.
On around those turns too.
It really does.
That's where it comes into it.
Feels fantastic. So there you have it, the SW30 Toyota MR2. This car is still a surprisingly good value, especially after the pandemic. The mid-engine driving experience is truly unique, and even its 1.8-liter engine can push it pretty quickly. This car is proof that power-to-weight ratio can matter just as much as power itself, or even more.